Hi, we're going to do some predictions today. These are based on the predictions I did in 2018 on the 18th of September 2018. Today's date is the 25th of May and all sorts of things are happening in the Parliament at the moment. We've got Theresa May resigned, as I predicted, and lots more to come. So I'm going to tell you a few insights into my previous predictions and what I see coming. Off to the pub now, I think. Now, back in 2018, I predicted that Theresa May would resign. In fact, I actually predicted it in the original predictions around 2017 when the election happened. I seem to have got that right. I also seem to have got it right that Boris Johnson will be the front runner, and it does seem that he will be the next Prime Minister. So my predictions there still hold, and I do feel that Brexit is not going to be quite the problem that everybody thinks it is. There won't be any medical shortages, there won't be chaos, there will be some difficulties, but we'll be over them quite quickly. So I'm running still with my original prediction that there would be no problems. And I said all this 2 years ago, and 2 years ago I said also that Boris Johnson would be Prime Minister, didn't I? And it looks like that's on track too, because he is the front runner at the moment. So I hold by that. Boris Johnson will be the UK Prime Minister. Something that will be quite interesting to add to this is that the border will not be built by the UK, it will be built by Ireland itself. Europe will build the border to stop UK goods bleeding into Europe. Now, back in 2017, I think it was, I wrote an article with the Sun newspaper about the formation of a new political party. And that does seem to have happened, doesn't it? We have the Brexit party, plus another possible party in the background there as well. Now, my prediction is that that party obviously is going to do well. We can see that happening in the European election. But I also feel eventually that Farage is going to join with the Conservative Party. First, there will be a merger and a deal between the two parties, and eventually I feel Farage will become a member of the Conservative Party. So we got Trump's visit coming up soon, and I think there's going to be obviously a lot of controversy amongst people that don't like Trump, but also there's going to be a bit of a headline about Trump, Farage and Boris Johnson all getting together behind the scenes and have a kind of trying to have almost a secret meeting about UK politics, and there's going to be a bit of controversy about that. The election I originally said would be in September. I made that prediction back in 2018, but it's going to be after October. So I was wrong there because I'm fallible, guys. I don't get it all right. And I did also previously say that David Davis would be a caretaker Prime Minister while after Theresa May left, and I did get that wrong too, so I'm wrong there. But I'm right with Johnson, and I feel I'm right with what I'm saying about a hard Brexit still. Now, if you follow my channel, you will remember that I predicted last year that Nicola Sturgeon would have an embarrassing scandal around her. As it happened, it wasn't her that had the embarrassing scandal. It was Alex Salmond, you will remember, who was embarrassed by all sorts of sexual allegations. And of course, Nicola Sturgeon was actually deeply embarrassed by that whole scenario. But there's going to be more happen to this story, I feel. We've not heard the end of it, because what's going to happen next is there's going to be some suggestion that there's been some Russian implications in that. There's been some blackmail going on behind the scenes, some bribery, something like that, something happened like that, that's going to make that story flare up again in the press. Now, last year, people were kind of surprised when I mentioned about Julian Assange, because I said Julian Assange would attempt to make an escape from the Uruguay embassy. as it happened, he didn't try to make an escape, but it certainly looked like it when they arrested him, because there was big crowds of people outside the embassy when they arrested him. So for me, I think I could have been forgiven for seeing that as a kind of a demonstration, because I said it would happen during a demonstration. So what's going to happen with him? I feel he will be extradited to Sweden, and I feel he will then be extradited to America. But was I seeing something with this escape business? Because could it be that I saw him trying to make an escape? Could he perhaps try to make an attempted escape from Sweden? We'll have to see. It's not far ahead. Now, those that follow my predictions will know that back in 2018, 18th September 2018, I predicted that Angela Merkel during 2019 will be out of office. Now, she's still there as a political figure, but she has actually resigned, because she will be out of office as she's going to step down as German Chancellor, it says in the press, in 2021. So she is saying she's going. I actually think it's going to be a lot earlier than 2021. So I predict that Angela Merkel will be out of office before the end of 2019. Now, sticking with Germany for a minute, I did say about that there would be problems in the German car industry. Now, I was saying this back in my 2017 predictions, you remember, and now that has become very much apparent that German car industry does have its problems. But I see major trouble ahead, because I see Trump imposing big tariffs on Germany. I did comment on that last year. I'm just saying it's happening. So I feel this is on track with this prediction. And I stand by this prediction, but there will be a major downturn, not just with the German car industry, but I see the whole German economy falling quite badly and going into recession. It's going to have a major influence upon the future of Europe. Now, last year I predicted that there would be a big new wave of immigration into Europe, on akin to what we saw last time. Now, I stand by that, and I feel that we are going to see later this year another big surge in immigration, mainly from the Middle East. Another prediction that I stand by, and I've spoken about many times, I started talking about my predictions, I think back in 2016, was that there'd be an Italian bank collapse. And I still stand by that. I feel it's imminent. I feel it's going to be triggered when we get the problems in Germany with their recession. Now, back in 2017 and 2018, I started talking about the Italian economy as being a major problem for Europe, and that there would be an Italian banking collapse. That's been talked about a lot more nowadays, and it's become a major problem for people and a worry for Europe. I still feel that will happen, particularly with this influence I see from the German recession. So watch out for that one. So we got the European elections, and it's pretty obvious now at the time I'm speaking that Farage is going to have a good showing. Similarly, there's going to be some right-wing parties in power. I did predict that again a long way back. I feel now that the longer-term future of Europe, once Britain has left, is pretty bleak in my opinion. I feel that there's going to be eventually, and not immediately, not 2019, but eventually we're going to see a situation where Europe does splinter, and we get like a German federation, which will be like the German influences by its nearby countries. But I see Italy leaving, I see France leaving, I see Denmark leaving, and my understanding of what will happen to Europe is that eventually it will disintegrate. And this is something that has actually been also spoken about by a number of the seers in the East who have said similar things. And finally, we've got the D-Day celebrations coming up, which I think will be a nice positive thing, will bring people together. But I see in the press something happening where somebody says something that's so out of turn, so wrong, so politically incorrect, that it's going to cause a great embarrassment. And this is going to come from a political leader. I think it's going to come from a European political leader that should know better. So what I've talked about today is mainly about Britain, mainly about Europe, but I'm going to have to talk a little bit more later, a bit more about America. And one of the predictions I made, which I think is going to be very important on the time ahead. Now, you will remember that I spoke about a potential war between Russia and America and the conflicts over the Middle East. I'm going to cover that a little bit more because I predicted this would happen, and at the point I'm speaking there's becoming an even bigger build-up of military hardware being sent over there from America at the moment. So I'm not going to cover that in this episode, but follow the channel. If you click the little bell thing at the bottom down there, you'll get the you'll be able to follow me and get your regular updates. And I'll talk a little bit more about these upcoming conflicts in the Middle East. So thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I'm actually going to be doing some more predictions, because if you saw me on Russian television, which I don't expect most of you did, but some of you know about what I predicted, it's on my website. There's going to be a war between America and Russia over the new Middle East. This is something I predicted a while back, and I'm going to fill you in on some of the details about what I feel is going to happen with that next time. So follow the channel and see you next time. Bye for now. And by the way, don't forget to get my book. It's all about the future, all about what happened to me with the incredible things that happened to me with the holy men in India. And if you're interested in predictions, you might like a prediction for yourself, or maybe some mediumship. You can come to my website and get readings with myself or with my team of psychics. See you next time. Bye for now.